And a young climate activist who is speaking up in Glasgow, fighting for a sustainable future, 24-year-old Vanessa Nakate of Uganda founded the Green Schools Project, setting up solar panels of all of Uganda's 24,000 schools. Vanessa is also on the cover of Time magazine's Next 2021 list. And in her latest book, A Bigger Picture, My Fight to Bring a New African Voice to Climate Crisis, she is sounding the alarm on the climate catastrophe in the global south. Vanessa joins us now from Glasgow. Welcome and congratulations on your Time magazine feature, much deserved.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I hope most of the schools in Uganda can get this scholar.
Now, you are 24 years old and already leading the fight in Uganda to make sure underserved communities have a seat at the table. What is your message to world leaders at COP26 right now about what's going on in your country?
Africa is responsible for only 3% of global emissions. So my message has been one of the things has been for leaders to stop investment in all new fossil fuel projects, because we cannot eat coal, we cannot drink oil, and we cannot breathe so-called natural gas. And my other very important message has been about loss and damage. Loss and damage is happening right now in countries like mine. And like I've always said, we cannot adapt to lost traditions. We cannot adapt to lost cultural heritage or to starvation or to extinction. So the climate crisis is affecting us right now. And we need the leaders, we need governments to provide a separate fund.
You just mentioned Africa is responsible for only 3% of global emissions, and yet Africans can continue to feel the brunt of climate-induced disasters. What is the solution here? I know that you were just talking about how you're calling upon these global leaders to act and to invest. Is it more of a money issue or a policy issue? How can the world's biggest polluters really, truly step up to the plate? What can they do today?
We are seeing leaders making commitments, putting targets, but it's important for people to know that targets or commitments are not going to reduce emissions. Commitments don't stop the planet from warming. What will stop the planet from warming will be real action from the leaders. And real action, these are things that can be done right now. You know, many people have been talking about the commitments that we are hearing at the COP26 conference. But we shall only believe, we shall only believe those commitments if they amount to real action, real implementation. And one of the things that I think is very important right now is to provide the climate finance and to stop investment in all new fossil fuel projects right now.
And let's turn to your book for a moment. In Chapter 7, which is titled Speaking Out for Women and Girls, you discuss gender equity and how going against the cultural norm resulted in backlash from the public. People accused you of using your climate activism as a form of finding a husband or selling drugs. Please share your thoughts with us on how to close the gap on gender inequalities.
These are some of the things that, people were saying when I started my activism through different comments I was seeing on social media. And I start to think about different girls or different women who may come across such comments and feel like they cannot go to the street to, organize or to strike for the climate because they would fear, to receive such comments. And, it's really disturbing because women and girls are disproportionately affected by the climate crisis. The already existing inequalities that women and girls are facing are only exacerbated. That's why I think it's really important to have more girls educated, to have more women empowered. So we need more women leaders, in the places, in the spaces where the decisions that pertain our survival are being taken. And that we can make possible if we have more girls, every girl educated and every woman empowered.
Now, back in January 2020, you attended the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, where you, along with other international delegates, were all photographed. The Associated Press, however, only published a photo with 4 other prominent young climate activists who were all white and cropped you out. In a tearful video, you denounced the racism in the global environmental movement. More than 18 months later, would you say that anything has changed?
Well, Before the COP started, I would say that there has been a change. And when the COP started, I happened to re-experience, the same situation of being removed from a picture or my name not being put, as someone who has made, I think many people saw that incident. I really don't like talking about it, but I can say that the very same experience that happened in Davos re-happened again while in Glasgow. So I think that there is still a long way to go in terms of inclusion and diversity, in terms of, having every voice listened to, having every voice respected, having every voice platformed and amplified. And it's really important for media, for organizations, or for movements to understand that we cannot have justice if, specific voices are being left behind.
Vanessa, we thank you so much. It was so important for us to include you. We hope that you will no longer be cropped out, and it's really just heartbreaking that you have been in the past and continue to be. But we certainly are listening to your voice today. We appreciate you sharing your insight and your time. You can purchase A Bigger Picture, My Fight to Bring a New African Voice to Climate Crisis, wherever books are sold. Thank you.
Thank you.